What's up, youth? Hopefully you guys have enjoyed going through the first 3 chapters of James. This week we are on James chapter 4. And if I had to summarize it in 3 words, it would be things to avoid. And so James just starts off with giving us a list of things that we should avoid trying to do and to say. But what it really comes down to, he talks about, is your heart. Is where is your heart at? And so maybe this week you can really evaluate where your heart is, because that's the source of a lot of our conflicts. It's the source of a lot of arguments that we get in. And he also talks about how friendship with the world makes you an enemy of God. And so if you are just in love with this world and all this world has to offer, then your heart is not really set on Jesus. Because the things that Jesus talks about, the things that Jesus desires and wants us to, is contrary to how this world is living. And so he's saying that if we draw near to God, then our passions will line up with God's, our words will line up with God's, our thoughts will line up with His, because His ways are always higher than our ways. And the last thing that I hear here is really how he talks about how we should plan our days out according to Christ's will, and it not always be about what we want, but it be about what Christ wants. And so when we do that and we plan out our day of what we're going to do next week and our vacation for next year, we don't do that really with Christ in mind. And he's talking about how important it is to say, if the Lord wills, then we will do this today, we will do this tomorrow. But if the Lord wills, because He is at the centerpiece of our lives and He is at the centerpiece of the decisions that we make on a daily basis. And as you're reading through James chapter 4, we want you guys to just really evaluate your hearts and where they're at, if they're centered on Christ or if they're centered on things of this world. And I love how James just ends it, the last verse in chapter 4, that if we know the right thing, we have to do it. And so maybe you can put that into practice. I know you can put that into practice this week. If you know the right thing, then do it.